All right, let's go. It is a new week and time for us all to
taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Obviously, the last few weeks have been a little tough, but in crypto, we know that only the strong survive. If you are a little bit down right now, just remember,
it's just money. It's made up. Pieces of paper with pictures on it so we don't have to kill each other just to get something to eat.
I'm very optimistic. I mean, Ripple just announced our largest acquisition, actually one of the largest acquisitions in the entire crypto industry to date. We announced it earlier this week on Tuesday in the middle of tariff palooza. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with the tariffs, but we're betting on where the world's going to be in 3 years, not what's going to happen in the next 6 months.
And even though we seem to be at a little bit of a standstill with China, here is a clear explanation of the current tariff plan.
Boom, click and go back this way. Boom, here, click and go that way. Boom, that way. Click here and go like this way.
So while some might say that the first step is the hardest, I would argue it's actually the third step right before your balls hit the water. At the end of the day, it just feels like we're going to be able to take their hits way easier than they will be able to take ours. But until we see what really happens, people are going to break out their moderately funny nicknames. They will say things like, "He's not my president. Just don't be offended when he tells you, not my resident." Last video I told you we are not far away from the American communists starting to side with China. These cunnies are starting to post on X. They are screaming in the streets, even selling their own merch. Always remember, America is for capitalism, and we have no time for this commie bullshit.
Hey, this guy's a commie!
And for those of you wondering what a cunny is, well, there's a word that starts with a C and rhymes with bunt that YouTube says I can't say. Cunny means the same thing. So they can spend their millions of dollars trying to turn Coachella into Weekend at Bernie's.
We have an economy today that is working very well for the billionaire class, but not for working families.
But backstage, the conversation is much different. Yeah, and then I told him we're doing all this just to help the poor people. Check this out from eGrag Crypto. The XRP kangaroo is clucking. eGrag says we need to be aware of a potential XRP dip to $1.85 if it fails to close above the 230 to 250 zone on the 5-day chart. His price targets remain at $7.50, $13, and then $27 for 2025. And we'll take a look at some more price action in just a minute. But if we go back to the big news from last week regarding the Hidden Road acquisition for Ripple, this post from Ripple's CTO, David Schwartz, really captures the magnitude. He says that Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road is a defining moment for the XRP ledger and XRP. The prime broker clears upwards of $10 billion and processes over 50 million transactions a day on various traditional rails. Schwartz says, now imagine even a portion of that activity on the XRP ledger, and that's exactly what Hidden Road plans on doing. Not to mention future use of collateral and real-world asset tokenization on the XRPL. And this is Casey Craddock, Ripple's managing director for the UK and Europe.
We partnered with SocGen Forge, one of the leading banks here in France, firstly around custody, but now more broadly on issuing their Euro CV stablecoin on XRP Ledger.
And this news gains even more importance when you look at this. Google to enforce MiCA rules for crypto ads in Europe starting April 23rd. And we know RLUSD is MiCA compliant, whereas Tether has no plans to become compliant.
XRP has been the best performing major crypto in the last 90 days. We think about it as, what does that look like over the next 3 years? I'm very optimistic.
All right, let's take a look at some other top headlines.
We must innovate before we regulate. That means allowing innovation to happen here at home in the digital asset space is critical to American economic dominance across the globe. The good news is President Trump is leading the way to a crypto revolution.
In San Francisco, they are building a giant statue of a woman, and in order to construct it, they have to go into her butthole. Personally, I haven't seen a guy stick his head that far in a woman's ass since Gary Gensler.
I'm only here to do two things: delay any progress in crypto and eat Elizabeth Warren's very tasty sweet bunghole. Her booty tastes like 70-year-old cottage cheese, and boy, oh boy, do I love cottage cheese.
The world cheats us. They've been cheating us for decades. They cheat us with tariffs, higher tariffs, but more importantly, they cheat us with the so-called non-tariff barriers. It's the VAT taxes, the dumping, the currency manipulation, the technical barriers that keep our autos out of Japan, the agricultural barriers that keep our pork out of Australia or Europe. They're doing that to the tune of $1.2 trillion of wealth a year that we transfer now abroad, and $18 trillion of wealth since we started running deficits.
President Trump became the first sitting president to attend a UFC event this weekend, and I thought it was especially nice of Michelle Obama to come over and say hello. After realizing that many of their protesters don't know what the words fascist or Nazi actually mean, the Dems have switched to a new buzzword.
We begin this hour with the chaos.
The average American sees chaos. The American people see chaos.
It's total chaos. You brought chaos.
It's just complete chaos.
Unleashed an economic chaos.
They unleash chaos.
They are creating chaos.
There's too much chaos.
Total chaos.
After seeing all the chaos.
The chaos he has unleashed on America.
The chaos is the goal.
It's chaos.
But am I the only one that thinks this video sends the wrong message?
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise.
In any event, maybe they should make a rule that you can't use your protester paycheck to buy fentanyl till after the protest.
Mr. President, China retaliated today by reducing the number of American films that can be shown there. What's your reaction to them now targeting cultural exports from the United States?
I think I've heard of worse things.
From attorney James Filan, the parties have filed a joint motion to hold the appeal in abeyance based on the parties' agreement to settle. The settlement is awaiting commission approval. Bud Light teams up with Tim Walz to offer this new limited edition can. And can someone please check in on Barbara Streisand?
How do I get through a night without you?
All right, let's take a look at some target price levels for both XRP and Bitcoin. The 2-week chart shows some strong buying pressure, as you can see this long week on the 2-week candle. It's not a true dragonfly doji, but it is very close. And we also still have this hidden bullish divergence on the 2-week chart, as XRP closed on Sunday above the $2.09 level. On the daily chart, we have updated fib extension levels, assuming that the end of the retracement is in. Obviously, if XRP does head lower, these levels will change. On the daily chart, we have a potential hidden bearish divergence comparing SRSI and price. If the price of XRP can close above the $2.55 level on the daily close, this would negate the divergence. And you could start to look at these fib extension levels for the next possible take profit zone, with the 1.0 fib extension level here at $4.47. One thing to keep an eye on is the daily RSI. We have broken this 5-month trend line. If we stay above this trend line, it's just added confirmation that the local bottom is in. And if we take a look over here at Bitcoin, the current weekly candle has created a bullish engulfing candle, which usually breaks to the upside. However, we still need to pay attention to the stochastic RSI and this 20 level. As we have talked about, if both lines can cross and stay above the 20 level for a couple of weekly closes, then you should expect a massive move for BTC as well as altcoins. Staying below 20 will continue to add bearish momentum until the SRSI is confirmed above. You should also be watching this 21-week simple moving average, which is right here around 93,000-ish, which is this blue line, and also the top of this descending broadening wedge, which is currently around the 98,000-ish level. The RSI is also still creating a hidden bullish divergence, which may be able to play out if the SRSI is able to get that bullish momentum. So you know I'll be watching, and I'll keep you updated with any new information. Remember that the best part of life is learning new things. Like, did you know that they have swimming pools at the Flying J? Not every wish is going to turn out perfect. Do you really think this guy wanted a giant penne? But if you have had a long-ass day, you're going to want to make sure you stay away from Kohl's and find yourself a wiener pit to come home to.
We got it rough, but it's gonna turn around.
And if you have a couple more minutes, you may also like this video right here. Banks give us a date for XRP to reach $12.50. Till the next time, be safe.